it's Tracy Jackson, also known as the Spiritual Cheerleader, and I'm coming to you this week to share a little bit more about crystals. Obviously, crystals are not necessarily my tool of choice, but I felt more drawn to them lately, and one of the things that really helped me, because I am not someone who was super drawn to crystals or really knowing them. I was like, oh, they're pretty, but one of the things that really helped me was this wonderful ebook by my friend, soul sister Cynthia Long, also known as Angel Roots and Boots on Instagram. She has this wonderful ebook called Beyond Rose Quartz that gives you really interesting guidance on the types of crystals that you can work with, not only for protection, but also for, heightening your intuition, aligning your chakras, working in conjunction with your astrological sign, doing in relation to feng shui. She has all of these items listed in this wonderful ebook, and I'll include a link to her website in the description here so that you guys can check it out. But I wanted to share a little bit of my collection, just in case you guys were interested in crystals. And I can just tell you that, for me, starting off, I would go to this little metaphysical store really close to my job. And I remember going, because the whole thing that got me there was I was looking for a smudging kit, and I ended up getting this smudging kit from there. But while I was there, I saw these crystals. And as I'm, going through there, it's literally telling me what each crystal does. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I had no idea that there were crystals and that they had meanings or uses for particular ways of particular things that were going on in my life, or particular areas I wanted to work on in my life. So of course, the first thing that I went and bought, I was like, I want all the abundance crystals, right? And I got a fair few, but one of the biggest abundance crystals, pretty much anyone, as soon as you ask, hey, I'm looking for abundance or financial prosperity, what's a good crystal, automatically they're going to talk about citrine. And so that was one of my first purchases, was some citrine. Well, there's many other stones that relate to abundance, and some of them have intricacies to them. One, could really emphasize financial prosperity, or just abundance in all areas. I have this Cenobite, which it looks like a piece of cinnamon gum or something, but it also has this energy of financial prosperity. I'm trying to think of pyrite is my other one of my other abundance stones, and of course it looks like gold, right? Somewhat like gold. So those are a couple of stones that I have that are related to bringing in that energy of financial prosperity. Well, okay, I have these stones. What do I do with them now? Well, for me, I have these stones along with several others that I'm going to share with you shortly near my computer. And that was something that Cynthia emphasized to me when I took one of her courses, learning a little bit more about crystals and goddesses and things like that. But she was saying, from the feng shui perspective, obviously if you are wanting to bring in more abundance and especially financial prosperity, you're going to want to have your crystals related to that near where it is that you generate income, right? So of course, I have them next to my computers in my office space because I want to generate income from those sources. So I have my financial prosperity, abundance items in that area. And it's very interesting because in the same token, you know, when I have done certain money spells, and we'll get into that in one of the other videos, but I have definitely put the creations that I've made for those spells, I put them near where I generate income. So that makes complete sense. Some of my other stones here, some of my other crystals. Let's do the protection ones really quick. So obsidian, obviously very well known, black obsidian and black tourmaline are two of the most protective stones that you can have. From the feng shui perspective, it's really good, and I actually purchased 4 black tourmaline pieces to put in the 4 corners of my home. It basically creates a sanctuary of protection in the home so that nothing gets by, like nothing negative gets by. The same is true with obsidian. You could do the same with obsidian, but both of those stones are very protective. I also have black tourmaline on my wrist as a protection item for myself. And before I had my bracelet, I used to carry black tourmaline on me for protection. I used to have it on my desk at work for protection because obviously there's a lot of in and out, there's a lot of negative energy sometimes in your workspace, and if you are feeling that type of energy, you could create that sanctuary in your workspace by putting down the black tourmaline and, you know, black obsidian in the 4 corners of your office or right at the door, so that, you know, any negativity, and set that intention with the stone, any negativity goes straight into the stone and is obliterated, right? Obviously, if you're setting that intention for the stone, you're definitely going to want to cleanse it regularly because you don't want that energy just sitting there and, you know, not going away. So make sure that you do kind of a double protection on it, that, you know, even though you're intending for it to just be obliterated once it goes into the stone, you want to cleanse the stone so that none of that energy gets chalked back up. So next up, I'm going to do a couple of my green ones. I've got malachite and chrysocolla, and both are chrysocolla is really good for your communication. It's obviously I'm holding it and not able to talk, but it's really good for communicating. It's also really good heart chakra stone. Any green stone is going to be really good for heart chakra. If you're wanting, you know, to incorporate more love, or if you're feeling judged or whatever, like these are going to be good stones for that. Malachite even, you know, has some relation to the abundance aspect as well, and so because of that, like abundance of love, whatever, I usually keep that over near my workspace. But, you know, these are really, really good stones to have on a regular basis near you, just to generate more help in the communication arena, as well as if you're feeling, you know, judgment or, you know, needing a little bit more self-love. Moving on with that same notion is rose quartz. Obviously, one of the most famous of crystals. Most people know about rose quartz being a stone of love and a stone of self-love that you can use. This one, most stores seem to have rose quartz in a heart shape for obvious reasons, so that's another great one. Obviously, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because, hey, this ebook is called Beyond Rose Quartz. I also have a couple of different stones here. I have some magnetic hematite spheres, so that's why they are hanging like that. But hematite is a really good stone for grounding. Many times you are not present. Most of us are not present. I think I've spoken on this a lot, especially on one of my most recent podcasts. But hematite is a really, really grounding stone. If you are struggling with staying present, or if you're feeling like your thoughts are scattered or that you're all over the place, like people are like, oh my God, I'm so all over the place today. Like I just can't focus. I can't, I can't get grounded. Hematite is perfect for that. And like these, obviously they're a little bit addictive because you can kind of play with them. They're like really good stress relievers in that sense as well. So my little local metaphysical store has regular hematite, but they also had the magnetic hematite spheres, cones, and oh gosh, they had like 3 different types of 3 different shapes. But the ones that I'm coming up with right now are the spheres and the cones, but whatever, you get it. So next up are a couple of stones that are more, that I've always considered more upper chakra stones. One of which many of us are familiar with, which is tiger's eye. I've always thought of tiger's eye as being a decision-making stone. And because I am also in one of my recent podcasts was talking about making decisions from an empowered place, when you know that you have to make a decision, it might be good to have tiger's eye on you. Obviously, I have my tiger's eye bracelet, and I bought it specifically for that purpose. And anytime I knew I was going to be in the position of having to make a decision, I always took it with me. I have a little shard here as well. It's also good for abundance. And so in that sense, it's already there on my desk as well. The other, one of my other favorite stones is labradorite. I'm saying that right. Labradorite, sorry. And it is actually a double like double meaning, double protection, double flavor, double fun. No, just kidding. It's got like double the benefits. There we go. I'm losing my words today. But it's got double the benefits. So not only is this a wonderful stone of helping you to hone in and cultivate your intuitive abilities, it's also a protection mechanism, so that those intuitive abilities are not manipulated in a way that end up being negative for you. So it's a double whammy, like in my thought process, or a double benefit. I shouldn't say double whammy, because most people associate whammies as not being a good thing. But it's a stone that really helps with your intuition, and it also protects you as you're using your intuitive abilities, such that you're not getting any negative energy on you. So for me, like when I'm doing readings or things like that, I might have labradorite with me, or I have a necklace that has labradorite in it, so I'll wear that necklace so that I am able to get in tune with what I need to share, but I'm also not getting that negative energy flow from anyone outside going, oh yeah, no, like to block my energy. So it's a double benefit stone. I actually have a pendulum, and I'm probably gonna talk about pendulums next week. But my pendulum is actually a crystal. It's lapis lazuli, which is another intuition stone. So it helps with that. And because obviously I was going to be using my pendulum to make decisions again, I wanted it to be charged with that energy of intuition. But there are pendulums in all different types of crystals. I've seen wood pendulums, I've seen metal pendulums, and sometimes there's benefits to having those as well, because they don't get as murky with the energy. Obviously, I have to charge this one and cleanse it because it's a crystal. Next up is one of my favorite stones. It's apophyllite, and this is an apophyllite point actually. This is typically how you see it, unless you get like a huge cluster. But apophyllite is it looks like clear quartz, but it's really not. It's like a supercharged stone of alignment. Like it is so crown chakra oriented. It's like boom, powerful, super energetic, super clear. Like you're just basking in clarity when you get a apophyllite. And so I most times when I had this stone, along when I had a like nightstand that I was sleeping next to, I had this on my nightstand along with some other intuitive stones like my labradorite, my moonstone. I had those all next to me because I wanted to have that clarity when I was sleeping. But obviously now, like, I've started carrying it around with me a little bit more, because sometimes I just need that clarity like right in that instant. So that's another great stone. And then one of our cards this week was kyanite. And I actually have a sliver of blue kyanite here, but this is actually ruby and kyanite. And this stone actually brings dreams into reality. And it combines the ruby with the kyanite. Obviously, kyanite is more of a stone for the upper chakras and everything, and ruby is seen more in the body, more in the heart space. So it's kind of that combination of head and heart, or mind and heart, if you will. But it helps you to literally bring what's up here into the heart space and out, so that it becomes an actual reality in your life. So that is those are a few of my crystals and how I use them. Like I said, this wonderful ebook has been instrumental in helping me to know how to use them a little bit better, what to do with them. Most times when I'm working with crystals, it is either in one of my healing templates, because I do healing templates through the Crystal Mandala Oracle, and several of the crystals that I have are crystals that are referenced in this actual deck. So when I pull that card, or when that host card is selected by my client, I usually try to bring in the stone if I have it present, so that we have that energy of the stone while we're doing the healing template. Obviously, I have been more mindful of where I place the stones. I make sure that I have them in areas that will benefit the energy that they are conveying. One thing that I do recommend again is setting intentions with the stones, because even though they have a set purpose, you can tailor that purpose specifically to what you would like for that crystal to do. And I definitely think that is something that is beneficial. Obviously, taking care of them and charging them and cleansing them is also something that you need to do. And all of that can be found in this Beyond Rose Quartz ebook. So I hope that you'll grab it. I will put the link to Cynthia Long, also known as Angel Roots and Boots, I'll put a link to her website in the description below so that you can check it out. And happy crystal hunting. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.